Hey YouTube, this is Gracie and welcome back to Card-tober, a series in which I show you how to make a Disneybounding Halloween card every day in the month of October. And today is day 3 of the week of Hocus Pocus, which means today's card is Disneybounding as Mary Sanderson, the third Sanderson sister, from Hocus Pocus, of course. Last week was the week of villains, and if you guys are interested in seeing any of those cards, I'll be leaving a link to the playlist at the end of this video. So, like I said, today's card is Disneybounding as Mary Sanderson. She mostly has a plaid skirt, pattern on her dress, and then I also included the rusty red to emulate her corset color, and then this burnt orange is very similar to the sleeves of her dress. And I don't know about you, but looking at her, she definitely has a unique look, and her hairstyle is very unique as well. And in my opinion, it's very similar to design or shape of a witch's hat. So that's also why I've included this witch's hat here. Her hair is mostly black, but there are little bits and pieces of purple in there. So that's also why I decided to color some of it in purple. I don't know if that was on purpose that they designed her hair style to look like a witch's hat, but bravo Disney, that you've got it going on. Anyway, I've also included this little spider web on his, dangling from his spider on his spider web. There you go. That's what I meant to say, because she also has one coming out of the top of her hair. I did a little one in the bottom as well. So that is mostly why I chose the colors and the cardstocks that I chose. Now, the embossing folders that I decided to go with also have a plaid shape or pattern, and then this front one on the orange is a fancy like iron gate, and that is to represent the gate that is in the front of their house, their property. On the inside of the card, I decided to just do a simple Happy Halloween, again with the spider and a little bit of cobwebs, because there's a ton of them in their house now that it's been sitting for so long. On the back side, I did my G-stamp with, again, the little spider hanging from his spider web. So let me go ahead and show you guys some of the products that I used. I used all of these Copic pens to start off. That way I could color in the witch's hat. And that is from the stamp set that I've used in my previous videos, from Hamilton Art, and it's the Witches Inn. I just used the hat, the spider, and the spider web or cobweb area. And I colored in on a piece of white cardstock with all of these Copic pens. Let me go ahead and show you the exact colors. So this one is V09, which is, and it's not focusing, let's see, which is a violet color. And then I did a slightly lighter purple in V15 in mallow. Then I did 2 different grays. This one here is W5, warm gray number 5, and then W6, which is warm gray number 6. And then I did the buckle in just a simple lemon yellow, which is Y13. So there you go. I've also outlined all the designs and around the hat with just some simple markers. I did the Le Pen in black, and then also I went back over it with this Bic permanent marker. And then the ink that I used, or the stamp pad rather, is Dusty Durango from Stampin' Up. The embossing folders are these ones right here, and they're from Holtz Sizzix. This is the iron gate, and then like kind of the plaid herringbone kind of design. I've also used the Spellbinder's Nestabilities and hexagons, and I've just used the 2 inner sizes. And then the paper pack that I used to get this plaid was from Sweater Weather, and this is DCWV. And last but not least, these are the 2 stamp sets of letters that I used. This one from Harrold Arts, and we're not sure where this one came from. I would assume it's probably Harrold Arts or something like that as well. We lost the packaging on that guy. That is for the inside where I wrote Happy Hauntings. or Happy Halloween. That's a whole other stamp set, Happy Hauntings. Anyway, so those are the products that I used. So first things first, I used a brown card, which is 5.5 by 4 inches, and I decided to make it a horizontal card, mostly because the rest of the pieces that I chose to put together just kind of looked better as a horizontal card rather than a vertical card. So that's mostly why. And then I decided to do a brown also because that's a very common color in the movie as well as on their outfits. So let's go ahead and glue that down with some Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. Uh-oh, it's decided to stop coming out. Fun! Love it when things malfunction. There we go. This one's a little bit better. Okay, and we're just going to get glue everywhere. Yep, that's about right. And we're just going to turn that over and place that onto the card. Nice and easy. Very simple. Okay, got glue everywhere. And then I also took my Memento Tuxedo black stamp pad and just inked all the way around the card. And you can do this in like a brown if you want. I just liked how dark it was and made it more grungy, but also because her hair is black, so I wanted to do it in black and not brown. So we're just going to take the corner of the stamp pad and just brush it along the entire card, the edges of the entire card. The next thing you'll want to do is actually stamp your spider with his little web. Let me go ahead and get that guy out. Okay. And take a clear block, put your stamp on there, ink it, and just take it to your upper left-hand corner and stamp it on there. Now to get the spider web the spider without the web, all you have to do is clean it off. Make sure you get all of it off, all the ink off, and only stamp the spider. So you just take your stamp pad and just dab the spider on the ink pad. And that should mostly take care of it. And you want to do it at different angles so that way you only get the spider and not the spider web. Okay, so there you go. There's your spider without the spider web. And we're just gonna put that aside now. The next thing I did was took my hexagons, and I also chose this shape to kind of resemble a stop sign, and that's because they end up walking up to what they later figure out is just a street, but they think it's a black river. So that's why I decided to put the stop sign shape on there. And we're going to take the Stampin' pad from Stampin' Up, and we're just going to ink the top of it. And you really have to just kind of focus on the edges because the inside part is actually going to be covered by the next hexagon shape. And that's pretty much it. The next one, also run that through your embossing folder. I've also made sure to have the gate in the center. So I've placed, let me see if I can find my little thing here and show you how I placed that in there. So I took the very top part of it and placed it right at the tip and then ran it through my embossing folder. The next thing is to obviously ink it. And we're using the same ink and just lightly going over the gated area and a little bit at the top. And don't worry if it gets crazy like this, it's all part of the distressing factor. Okay? And then put that aside. The next thing to do is glue your hexagons together using the same Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. Okay, just put the smaller one off-centered in the middle of your darker colored hexagon. And just press down. I had to hold this down for a few extra seconds than you would normally do with flat cardstock, just because both pages are like bumpy and have raised edges. So you want to make sure it's definitely going to stay put. Flip that over. and put your pop dots or 3D foam adhesives on there. And just need a couple, not too many. We'll use a total of 4. Or maybe 5, because one extra kind of peeled off there. Alrighty. Press down firmly and then peel the backings off, which these ones don't want to seem to come off very easily. Okay. Oop, these ones like to come off the paper. So let's go ahead and place that onto the card now. Try to get it into the center of your card and then again push down. Next step is to color your witch's hat, and there's also a die cut for this, but then I went through with some really sharp thin scissors and cut off the rest of the edges and then colored them in, like I said before, with the marker so that there was no white left on the paper. Just because I thought it looked a little bit better. Then you can also see, you're like, what is that? I've put some small 3D foam adhesives or pop dots on the back and then took my marker and just colored all the edges. Because again, I wanted less of the white cardstock to show. So that also meant that I didn't want the white part of the pop dots to show on the sides. Okay, and then just place that right in the center of your card. And there you have it. There is your Disneybounding Mary Sanderson Hocus Pocus Halloween card. Long title, but there you have it. I hope you guys like this video. Happy Halloween, and I'll see you next time. Bye!